shows the aftermath of what he says are hundreds of fire ant bites on her face, neck, and shoulders.
When it comes to wildlife, appearances always lie. Be it a little bug buzzing around or a monster lying underwater.
Oh, my heart's racing right now.
Don't be deceived by their size, since one sting could turn you into a historical figure. Let's watch these little but deadly pests. Deep in the lush forests of South America, there's a caterpillar that's not to be trifled with. Meet the Lonomia obliqua, a master of disguise and the world's deadliest caterpillar. This little critter blends seamlessly into tree bark, almost like it's playing hide and seek. And those innocent-looking hairs it's got, they're filled with venom. Just a touch can inject toxins that cause serious pain, bruising, and can even mess up your clotting system. Locals stay away from this caterpillar, knowing it packs a punch. But here's the twist. Scientists aren't just scared, they're fascinated. They're studying its venom, hoping to find new treatments for blood disorders and other medical problems. So while this caterpillar might seem like a tiny terror, it could also hold the key to some big breakthroughs in medicine. Killer centipede. In the depths of the American tropics, there lurks a formidable predator, the giant centipede. At over 11 inches long, it's more than just a creepy crawly. It's a venomous powerhouse. Armed with sharp pincers that deliver a potent venom, this centipede targets a range of prey, from spiders and birds to rodents and even frogs and lizards. Despite its stereotype, it doesn't actually have 100 legs, but 46 legs that grip with the tenacity of a scaled mountaineer's pythons. It hunts primarily at night, using its antennae to detect the slightest movements of its next meal. But even though it's a fearsome hunter, it has its vulnerable side too. Just like the mother centipede, always on the lookout for danger, ready to protect its loved ones. Fire ants. Now, if you think the critters we've talked about so far seem unsettling, you're not ready for the red fire ants. These tough little insects build their homes in soft mounds of dirt all over the southern US, and getting too close is a big mistake. They latch onto you with their powerful jaws and sting repeatedly, injecting venom that burns like fire and causes itchy welts. But the real horror show begins during a flood. Imagine a floating nightmare of thousands of fire ants forming a raft from their own bodies. As water floods their nest, they bring the colony's babies, larvae, and pupae to the surface, using their air-trapping hairs to float. The workers link together using their tarsi, some holding onto larvae, creating a living raft. This survival trick has helped them spread worldwide. Black Widow. The infamous black widow spider. Tiny, but notorious. Sure, they pack a venomous punch, but in the grand scheme of danger, they're not exactly top-tier threats to humans here in the US. Think of them more like spiders with the painful, annoying bites rather than the lethal assassins we've seen before. Now, getting bitten by one definitely can ruin your day. You might feel like you've caught the flu with all the muscle cramps, stomach woes, and maybe even a bit of shock. But hey, thanks to modern medicine and some quick access to healthcare, serious complications are nowadays rare. Plus, black widows aren't looking to pick a fight. They'll really skedaddle if you startle them. Sydney funnel web. And speaking of deadly spiders, how about we hop on over to Australia, home to the infamous Sydney funnel web spider. This creepy crawly isn't just big, it's dangerous. Its bite's so powerful that removing the spider can tear your skin, and if you don't get medical help fast, that venom can be fatal within an hour. Male funnel web spiders pack a punch with their venom, called a trachotoxin, which hits your system in just 2 minutes and can be deadly in 15. Spotting a Sydney funnel web is easy. They're large, with shiny black heads and dark brown bodies. Unlike most spiders, their huge fangs are like daggers, strong enough to pierce a human toenail. Assassin bug. Guess what else is out there in the wild? In the forests of sub-Saharan Africa, there's a creepy crawly known as the two-spotted assassin bug, a true predator in the insect world. Unlike their sap-sucking cousins, assassin bugs are all about hunting. They use their tube-like mouthparts, called a rostrum, to ambush and strike when their prey gets too close. Take a young red assassin bug, for example. Just a week old and already trying to tackle a locust. It's a tough challenge for the little guy, since piercing the locust's tough exoskeleton isn't easy. But with precision, it injects a deadly venom, which is fatal for that locust. Pus caterpillar. Speaking of deceptive appearances, let's talk next about the pus caterpillar. This inch-long larva looks more like a tiny, luxurious Persian cat than a typical insect. Its long, silky setae can be downy, grayish-white, golden brown, or even dark charcoal gray, often with a bright orange streak. Early-stage larvae have incredibly curly fur, giving them a cottony, puffed-up appearance, while middle instars look like they're having a perpetual bad hair day. But don't be fooled by those cuddly looks. This caterpillar is packed with venomous spines that cause intense pain upon contact. Brush against it, and you'll quickly experience a grid-like rash with severe, radiating pain. Tapeworm. Imagine enjoying a meal, only to discover later that an uninvited guest has made its way to your brain. That's the case with the tapeworm, which can be found in all types of meats. Tapeworms are usually long, flat parasites that live in the intestines. But sometimes they can also travel to the brain, causing a condition known as neurocysticercosis. This happens by the larvae migrating through the body, forming cysts in different organs. When these cysts settle in the brain, it becomes a rare but exceedingly dangerous condition. Indian red scorpion. Scorpions have been around since the dawn of terrestrial predators, outlasting even the dinosaurs. With about 1,500 species worldwide, these arachnids are a diverse bunch, but only a handful pose a serious threat to humans. The Indian red scorpion, despite its small size, about as big as a cigarette lighter, packs a powerful sting that can be fatal, especially for children in places like India, where encounters are more common. These creatures, with their iconic pincers and infamous stingers, are more shy than their reputation suggests. They prefer to wait under cover of darkness for unsuspecting prey to just wander by. Once caught, their venom turns the meal into a digestible liquid, which they can then suck up like a gruesome milkshake. Deathstalker scorpion. In the deserts of North Africa and the Middle East, a deadly predator lurks, the Deathstalker scorpion. This scorpion holds the title of the most dangerous scorpion in the world due to its potent venom, which can cause paralysis and even death. A sting from this scorpion might not be fatal to a healthy adult, but it's a significant threat to young children, the elderly, and those with heart conditions or allergies. Its venom can cause severe pain, blurred vision, convulsions, and breathing problems within just 20 to 30 minutes. These symptoms can last for 24 hours to several days, making the Deathstalker a serious menace. Cow killer. Next on the list is the velvet ant, a fascinating insect that defies expectations.
Oh, my heart's racing right now.
Female velvet ants, often which are mistaken for regular ants, are covered in bright reddish-orange hair, while the males spot dark brown wings and different body patterns. Both can produce a chirping sound when alarmed. Now, how cool is that? Female cow killers are a type of velvet ant that are well equipped for defense. They move quickly, have a tough exoskeleton, and can release foul odors. But their most notable feature is a sting that packs quite the punch, rated 3 out of 4 on the Schmidt Sting Pain Index. Despite the name, no cow has ever died from their sting. It's painful, but not highly toxic, just enough to make you think twice before messing with one of these deceptive little critters. Seaty Fly. Flies are usually a nuisance, sure, but have you heard of one that's just downright lethal? Meet the Seaty Fly, which is native to tropical Africa and is about the size of a regular housefly, just way more aggressive. These little guys pack a punch. When they bite, they can pass on a parasite called trypanosoma, which causes African sleeping sickness. Just ask Dwight, who got weaker and weaker after a trip to Tanzania. The parasite swam into his bloodstream using its flagellum and started wreaking havoc. It's a stealthy invader, changing its coat to dodge the immune system and multiplying like crazy. This leads to serious problems, affecting red blood cells and leaving the body starved of oxygen and nutrients. Cone snail. In the warm waters of Southeast Asia, there's a snail that's not your average slowpoke. Meet the cone snail, a tiny predator with a deadly secret. This snail uses its eye stalks to scan the ocean floor and a siphon to sniff out prey like a bloodhound. But here's where it gets crazy. This snail isn't just cute, it's lethal. It's armed with a venomous harpoon that can paralyze a fish in the blink of an eye. And get this, it has more than 100 different toxins in its arsenal, making it one of the ocean's top assassins. Once it stabs its prey, it reels it in and swallows it whole. There's no antidote for its venom, so once you're hit, that might be game over. Murder hornet. Back in 2020, the murder hornet buzzed its way into the US, and people weren't exactly thrilled about it. These hornets, which are originally from Asia, earned their scary nickname for a good reason. This hornet is the size of your thumb, with a sting that can pierce through a beekeeper's suit. They're big and mean, especially to honeybees. They love snacking on them. When they attack a hive, they don't just steal honey, they decapitate bees and turn them into tiny meatballs for their larvae. Talk about an idea for a horror movie! In Asia, these hornets cause up to 50 fatalities a year, mostly from their stings. They've been terrorizing Japan for centuries. Kissing bug. When you hear kissing bug, you might think of a harmless critter. Might as well crave some kisses for it, but beware, because this stealthy insect is far from it. They are known for their blood-feeding habits. They really are quite the sneaky little pests. They inject anesthetic to avoid detection while feeding for up to 30 minutes, using their stretchable exoskeletons to hold large amounts of blood. Their saliva can cause severe allergic reactions and even spread Chagas disease. Blue-ringed octopus. The blue-ringed octopus is the prized possession of Australia's southern coast. It's a tiny but formidable creature. By day, it hides in crevices or under rocks, and at night, it hunts small fish and crabs, using its paralyzing venom to freeze its prey. With its powerful beak, it then chops up its meal and feasts. How gruesome! When relaxed, the octopus is yellow with dark brown rings. But when threatened, these rings turn a striking peacock blue. This dramatic color change is due to ink-filled sacs, which stretch and release the blue pigment to the surface. Once the threat's gone, those sacs shrink again and the color fades. The octopus's beak can easily puncture the skin, delivering venom that's 10,000 times more toxic than cyanide. Vampire bat. In the moonlit jungles of Central and South America, vampire bats take center stage. These thumb-sized bats are unique among mammals for the exclusive diet of blood. They're not just nocturnal hunters, they're skilled predators that approach their prey with stealthy ground maneuvers. With their sharp upper incisors, they make precise cuts, often near the ears, without alerting their victim. Their most fascinating feature is their dependence on a steady diet of blood. Missing more than one night of feeding can spell disaster for these bloodaholics. While vampire bats' bites aren't fatal to their prey, they do pose a different kind of threat, transmitting rabies, which can devastate livestock populations. Fleas. When you think fleas, you imagine they're just tiny, harmless bugs, right? Well, think again. These mahogany brown jumpers have a talent for hitching rides on your pets and causing all sorts of chaos. More than just annoying, these wingless acrobats are fluid-sucking troublemakers. Not only do fleas cause relentless itching, but in large numbers, they can lead to anemia and trigger allergic reactions in some unlucky pets. And let's not forget, they can carry nasty diseases like cat scratch fever and even the notorious bubonic plague. Yeah, the one that wiped out half of Europe's population. Jerusalem cricket. Ever heard of the Jerusalem cricket? It's like stumbling upon a chunky, wingless bug with eyes and antennas spread wide. Its abdomen features zebra-like patterns in black and white hues. And those legs, stout and equipped with heavy spines, perfect for digging through soil. Despite their intimidating appearance, these crickets are more about survival than aggression. Handling them might result in a surprise bite, but it's not venomous, just a bit painful and short-lived. Here's a tip though. Avoid using mesh nets or plastic bags, because those strong jaws can chew right through them. When night falls, especially after rain, they emerge from their underground hideouts to feast on insects, small animals, and whatever plant scraps they can scavenge. Bobbit Worm. The Bobbit Worm, a deep-sea giant, is like something from a nightmare, with razor-sharp jaws that can snap prey in half faster than you can blink. They might look harmless from afar, blending into the deep-sea environment, but when prey comes within striking distance, these worms burst out of their burrows with lightning speed, grabbing their victim and dragging them down to oblivion. Despite their fearsome demeanor, encountering these creatures isn't something most people need to worry about. They lurk deep in the ocean at depths between 10 and 40 meters, making them more of a fascination for marine biologists than a threat to beachgoers. Brazilian wandering spider. Guess what creeps through the Amazon at night? The Brazilian wandering spider. Unlike other Brazilian spiders, this spider doesn't dig a lair or spin a web. It's always on the move. Sometimes it even sneaks into human neighborhoods. With one of the most potent venoms in the world, its bite can mess up your nervous system, causing your heart and breathing muscles to stop working, all while delivering excruciating pain. These spiders are just a glimpse of the Amazon's thrilling and deadly wildlife. Platypus. Ever wonder what you'd get if a duck, beaver, and an otter had a love child? That'd be the platypus. This egg-laying aquatic being with its own duckbill, beaver tail, and otter feet is native to the rivers and streams of eastern Australia. But wait, because there's more. The male platypus is also one of the few venomous mammals. These quirky creatures use their bills, which are covered in about 40,000 electroreceptors, to track the electrical activity of their prey, helping them eat up to 20% of their body weight daily. The platypus isn't just about its unique looks and hunting skills, though. Male platypuses produce venom during the mating season. And get this, female platypuses sweat milk for their young, which contains antibacterial proteins that can combat antibiotic resistance. Sawscale Snake. Now, meet the snake that makes a sound like sandpaper. The saw-scaled viper, one of the deadliest snakes around. It is known for its aggressive nature and potent venom. This little reptile is responsible for numerous human fatalities every year. Before striking, it makes a distinctive sound by rubbing its scales together, like a creepy reptilian maraca. They are small and often overlooked. These vipers live in rocky environments and are most active at night or after rain. If you encounter one, it might strike quickly and repeatedly, targeting lower extremities and causing severe pain, swelling, and tissue damage. Without quick medical attention, including the right antivenom, a bite could lead to amputation or worse. Candiru. Moving on, this tiny yet notorious fish in the Amazon hunts by sight rather than scent. The Candiru spots its prey visually, like catfish, and swims in circles until it locks onto its target. Once it finds a suitable host, such as a catfish, the Candiru stealthily enters and anchors itself using head spines. It then begins feeding on the gills. A rather grisly meal plan indeed. For the Candiru, mistaking a human for a catfish is a worst-case scenario. And for us, well, swimming in waters with Candirus around could lead to an unexpected visitor where you'd least expect it. So next time you're in the Amazon, consider carefully where you go for a swim. You wouldn't want to attract an unwelcome guest, now would you? Porcupine. We've all heard of porcupines before. They're kind of like the spiky giants in the rodent world. Armed with 30,000 sharp quills, they're ready to deter any would-be predators. But here's a fun fact. Those big, white spikes you're seeing actually aren't the quills. They're just extra long hairs designed to make them look even more intimidating. The real quills are hidden underneath their fur, usually kept flat against their bodies until they feel threatened. When a porcupine senses danger, it flaunts its densest quill area and can even use its tail like a slapstick to ward off intruders. These quills are super sharp and have microscopic barbs that make them a real pain to remove if you get too close. Interestingly, scientists are studying porcupine quills for medical inspiration. Imagine surgical staples that work like porcupine quills. Pouille. Have you heard of the hooded Pouille before? It's not your average songbird found in the lush rainforests of New Guinea. After a scratch from a Pouille, one scientist's mouth went numb and burned painfully. This happened because he was curious. He wanted to test the bird's feather in his mouth, confirming its toxicity. It is locally known as the garbage bird for its foul smell when cooked. The Pouille stores batrachotoxin, a neurotoxin also found in poisoned dart frogs and beetles it eats. Scientists believe the toxin isn't produced by the bird itself, but acquired through its diet. The big question though, why does it store this poison? And how is it that it doesn't affect the bird? Fulmar. Fulmars might blend in with gulls at first glance, but they're actually a part of a fascinating group of seabirds known as tube noses. From petite storm petrels to majestic albatrosses, these birds span a wide range of sizes and are experts at flying over the ocean. In the UK, Fulmar populations once boomed thanks to extra food from fisheries, but now they face a different challenge, getting caught in fishing lines. Research suggests thousands of them are affected each year. When they're not dealing with fishing lines, Fulmars are masters of using wind to their advantage. They zigzag across the waves in a technique called dynamic soaring, conserving energy as they cover vast distances. Ghost shark. Let's now dive into the deep, dark ocean. There, we come across ghost sharks, also known as chimeras. With their eerie appearance, glowing eyes, wing-like fins, and a venomous spine, they really do seem like ghosts. Unlike typical sharks, they glide gracefully with their pectoral fins, perfect for cruising the dark depths over 8,200 feet down. These creatures have an ancient lineage that dates back millions of years, surviving through evolutionary marvels like deep-sea gigantism. Imagine having traits from different animals: rat-like teeth, a mammal's nostrils, and a spine like a porcupine. It's no wonder they're named after the chimera of Greek mythology. These adaptations make them well suited for their harsh environment. Slow loris. Slow lorises are masters of stealth and survival. These small primates, like the Bengal slow loris and the pygmy slow loris, navigate the night with their huge, round eyes, perfect for their covert missions. Their prey, from insects to small critters, fall victim to their skillful hunting techniques, aided by a unique tooth comb in their front teeth. What truly sets them apart, though, is their venomous secret. Slow lorises are the only primates known to wield venom. When threatened, they activate a gland under their arm, combining oil and saliva into a potent venom that can incapacitate prey or deter predators. This lethal defense is their ace in the jungle canopy. Poison dart frogs. Encountering a tiny, vibrant frog in the wild can be mesmerizing, but that beauty often conceals a fatal secret. Meet the poison dart frogs, native to places like Colombia and Costa Rica. These small critters use their striking colors as a warning sign. The golden poison frog, for example, is capable of producing enough venom that can be fatal enough for several grown humans. The danger lies not in a bite, but in touching their skin. These frogs secrete a potent toxin called batrachotoxin, which disrupts nerve function, causing convulsions and muscle paralysis. While wild frogs pose risks, captive-bred pet poison dart frogs are actually safe. They don't develop their venom without their natural diet. Gila Monster. Now something that has monster in its name should be nothing to play around with, right? But I still think the Gila Monster is actually quite misunderstood. This venomous lizard, known for its striking black and yellow or pink bead-like scales, doesn't live up to its monstrous reputation. It carries venom in glands along its lower jaw, delivered through grooves in its teeth when it bites. But despite their venomous bite being painful, it rarely poses a serious threat to humans. These lizards prefer to avoid confrontation, using their intimidating hiss and wide-open mouths as warnings when feeling threatened. So, while their appearance might be intimidating, Gila monsters are more about self-defense than aggression towards larger creatures like us. Common Crate. The common crate, found throughout most of India, ranks among the world's most venomous land snakes. This nocturnal serpent is famous for slipping into homes, often trailing a meal. However, what sets the crate apart is its creepy habit of biting people in their sleep. Maybe it's got some kind of a kink for that. A crate bite is nearly painless, its small fangs leaving almost undetectable marks. Unfortunately, its powerful neurotoxic venom works quickly, causing paralysis and, if untreated, resulting in the person's demise. The victim often just never wakes up, leaving behind few clues to the cause. Lionfish. Lionfish are the perfect storm when it comes to invasive species. They grow quickly, reproduce early, and can travel long distances as their eggs and larvae ride ocean currents. These fish are armed with venomous spines, making them nearly invincible in their new homes, since few predators dare to eat them. Their presence is causing significant disruption in marine ecosystems. Lionfish gobble up native fish species, including those crucial to the diet of larger fish like snappers and groupers. These small reef fish also play essential roles in maintaining reef health, and their decline is troubling. Sea urchin. In the vast ocean depths, the sea urchin embarks on one extraordinary journey. Blind and deaf, its mission is simple: find the perfect place to call home. As it matures into an adult, it becomes a spiky survivor equipped with tiny, tube feet for movement and pedicellariae for grooming. Come springtime, a sea urchin's life takes a dramatic turn during a frenzied mating season. Males release sperm, females release eggs, and the ocean pulses with life as fertilization occurs. The resulting embryos develop into Pouille. These small creatures drift with the currents, feasting on algae until they're ready to settle down. Blue dragon. If you thought dragons were extinct, think again. They've just taken the shape of a sea slug that just glides effortlessly through tropical and subtropical waters. Picture this little guy floating upside down, using a gas-filled sac in its belly to stay buoyant and a muscular foot to hold on to the water's surface. But the most fascinating part of them is their color. It's got this blue top that blends perfectly with the water, while its underside shimmers silver. Now, despite its delicate appearance, this sea slug is no pushover. It's actually a fierce predator. Guess what it loves to munch on? Venomous siphonophores like the Portuguese Mana War. And get this, it stores those nasty stinging cells in special sacs called nitosacs, making its own sting even stronger. Pretty smart, right? And here's just another twist. These little creatures are actually hermaphroditic, meaning they've got both male and female parts. I know some of my viewers would consider this little dragon lucky. Portuguese Mana War. Speaking of the Portuguese Mana War, here it is, with its gas-filled bladder and sail-like membrane. Beneath it, tentacles trail up to 30 meters long, each armed with thousands of stinging cells. A single tentacle can paralyze and be fatal for a fish, and in rare cases, even a human. A remarkable sight is the Mana War fish, which nibbles on these deadly tentacles. Despite its resistance to the stings, it still has to tread carefully. Most other fish, though, aren't as fortunate. When a fish is caught, The tentacles reel it in, paralyzing it almost instantly. In a day, a Portuguese Mana War can capture over 100 small fish. Pufferfish. Pufferfish, or blowfish, have evolved their famous ability to puff up as a defense mechanism due to their slow and clumsy swimming style, making them easy targets for predators. When threatened, they inflate by pumping water into their stomachs, turning into spiky, formidable balls. This inflation is possible because of their stomach's accordion-like folds, allowing them to expand up to 3 times their normal size. Just one pufferfish carries enough toxin to make 30 adult humans go to sleep. Permanently. Open discussion. Here we have the water bug. This hefty insect doesn't just blend in, it stands out. It stretches up to 2 to 3 inches long, proudly claiming the title of one of North America's largest insects. They're like the alligators of the insect world, with dark brown bodies and banded legs built for snagging prey. Now, their bite isn't toxic, but it can sting, especially if it catches you between the toes, hence its nickname, toe biter. But here's where it gets interesting. When these bugs feel threatened, they can pull off a Hollywood-worthy move and play dead. They'll stay perfectly still for a few minutes before suddenly snapping back to life.